Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kurt, and welcome back already to Assetto Corsa. I'm here to do a little bit of testing, some myth-busting, or something like that, because from my last video you may have heard that multiplayer arrives to Assetto Corsa on May 2nd. May 2nd, I gave you like 4 different dates in the last video because I was scatterbrained and trying to pay attention to my gear shifts and whatnot, but it's May 2nd is when multiplayer is coming to Assetto Corsa, and that brought up a lot of interesting anticipation in all the fans of this game, mostly because with the multiplayer you tend to want to play with your friends, and generally most people don't have racing wheels, and the agreed upon best way to play Assetto Corsa or any true driving simulator would be with a racing wheel and pedal setup, whether or not it be the cheapest of the cheap, the Logitech Formula Force I previously had, or the new Logitech G27, which I recently upgraded to. But I wanted to come in and I've saved myself a lot of time by not setting up either of those racing wheels, and I'm going to be playing with my controller because, as I said, a lot of people are interested in this game, especially with multiplayer. They want to get their friends to play the game, but their friends and these people don't have racing wheels, and they've heard things that it's not playable with a controller, and I'm here to test just that. I don't want to put him on the spot, but I think with that case, I think Paz said he bought Assetto Corsa but hasn't played it because he keeps hearing that you need to play it with a racing wheel. I'm here to dispel, hopefully dispel those rumors, to let everybody know. Sorry, long intro here, but to let everybody know I'm using my Logitech Gamepad F310, basically a Xbox 360 controller configured like a PlayStation controller. And there is a built-in setting in Assetto Corsa, the controller settings, for a default Xbox 360 controller. I tested that, and it seems incredibly slow. The steering and inputs are incredibly sluggish, which is a good thing because it breaks down and gets rid of that twitchiness that you get with controllers. But I switched things up a little bit. These are my settings. Get out your notepads. These are my settings. I chose the default Xbox 360 controller, already pre-built into the game, and then I went to speed sensitivity, switched that to 40%, and then went to steering speed, changed that to 15%. On default, that was like 2%, and that was just way too sluggish and slow. Changed that to 15%. The rest is the default: Gamma 2, filter 0.7, and dead zone of 0. Mine doesn't have a rumble pad, so I didn't include any of the rumble settings, but otherwise, some pretty decent settings for controller options. And I think I've gotten it down to somewhere that I'm comfortable with. There might need to be additional tweaking, and I'm here in this one race that I've done like 3 times already. I figured I should do something that I'm familiar with, that you're familiar with, so we can get a good comparison between the wheel and the controller here. So this is the BMW M3 challenge at Mugello. I have the difficulty on 84%, and I have automatic transmission, all that fun stuff, damage off, whatnot. And the only thing I changed as far as that's concerned to my racing wheel setup is I've put the stability control up to 75%, should help with spinning out, because like I said, even with all these speed sensitivity and damper and gamma and whatever of the controller settings, it's still a little bit twitchy, and if you don't have some sort of traction control, like I have that enabled as well, or the stability control, you will have some issues. So without further ado, let's jump into the race car. And yeah, I'm pushing all the way left, pushing all the way, opposite. That's the steering speed I've chosen. A little bit sluggish, but also not too bad. It should be dampened just enough, but also fast enough I can react, hopefully. Whoops. Alright, I messed that up. Sometimes you need to pop it into first, that's the A button, but it apparently did it for me. And away we go. Alright, it does take some getting used to, the controller. You can't really flick back and forth like you can with a game like Grid or whatnot. You've really got to learn to have some judicial use of the thumbstick to really be able to dial in these little minute wheel corrections. And I do like, and maybe if I'm in a comfortable enough spot. Oh, check out that move. Check it out. Oh, don't cut me off. I might check out the different camera angles. I know a lot of people for arcade racers tend to go for the third-person view or the hood view, so I may switch to those in a coming lap, but yeah, as you can see, oh, yeah, there's a little bit of a bobble there, but I think you can play this game adequately. Whoa, okay, yep, up, yep, here's the twitchiness. There we go, all right, I just gotta get used to the car and the dampening. Whoa! Aw, well, that happens. I think you can play the game with a controller, my early impressions. However, it is obviously far more forgiving and far more fun with a racing wheel. And of course, your preferences to your controller settings may be completely different than mine. Perhaps you like the really sluggish, or perhaps you really... You know, there is a way you can increase the wheel steering speed to 100%, and in the in-car view, the guy's hands just like, whoop, the wheel like spins at incredible rate of speed. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, I think I'm doing better than I did my first lap ever when I first saw this challenge with my racing wheel. I think I spun out here. Well, I shouldn't talk too soon, but... Oh, sorry! So yeah, it really takes these little gradual, just like the most barely tiny little inputs I'm doing here to stay straight on this track. Of course, the D-pad you can use to look left and right. Oh Lord, you can still see on the lower right next to my my gear shifts and whatnot, those are my inputs. So the inputs are still coming through. You can see pretty default for racing games on a gamepad. Your right trigger is your gas, your left trigger is your brake, so that's nice and analog inputs. Nope. But yeah, the cars definitely do feel a lot heavier. They have a lot more, you know, it's all about accurate weight distribution and the simulation of grip. Far more than a game like Grid, which I preferred to play with a controller versus a wheel because it's far more of a arcade racer. But yeah, you're going to experience a lot of understeer because you're constantly going to be steering too much into turns, so that's why you hear a lot of the whoop, there's shift there. Place am I at 9th? Alright, this next lap, it's probably going to royally... Whoa, yep, see, I didn't judge how fast I was going into that corner. Had a lot of understeer. Also, not being able to have the force feedback to know what happens to your traction when you hit those rumblies like we do with a force feedback racing wheel is a little bit disconcerting and hard to react to. Speed, power! So yeah, here's the third-person view. I think they need more third-person views. One that's further back a little bit, I think, would be helpful. Oh yeah, and you can't, without, no, yep, that's bad. Without seeing the wheel, you don't know how much you're steering. And it's really quite sloppy to race from third-person view. I do not recommend it. Even the hood view here is better, but again, it's hard to judge just what my inputs are. Although I'm catching these guys. Let me try the hood view for a while. I like the hood view since Grid 2 didn't have an in-car view. The hood view was preferable to the third-person view in Grid. Beep, 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 beep. There's a horn somewhere, but... Nah. Oh well. I mean, it still does require knowledge of racing and getting your apexes right. It is, like I said, not very forgiving about that sort of stuff. The same physics and race characteristics apply. I'm doing alright on the hood view. Whoa. Oh, there's a lot of understeer there. I tried to... Tried to drive it in too deep. Too deep! Whoa, a little bit of spin out there. Yeah, see, I can't see how fast I'm correcting the turn. Yeah, now I'm just freaking out. Alright, let's, on this next straightaway, try to go back into the cockpit view. Ha! Yeah. The cockpits are so well done, and they're gorgeous. Whoa! I would regardless recommend that you race in the cockpit view. Well, we're up to 6th. We're halfway decent in the field, at least. Improving my times, even. Woo! Gentle turn. Yeah, these are the type of controller settings that most racing games could use. You know, if you watch when I play Next Car Game, I complain quite a bit about some of the controller changes they've made with that, and that's a situation where the steering is way too sluggish and the speed sensitivity really affects your ability to react, especially when you're getting, you know, lambasted by 20 other guys. Secret Saturday. 20 other cars who are trying to demolition derby you off the road. I think it's a little bit more essential for a game like that, either to include these settings or just default allow for more, you know, just disable speed-sensitive steering. Up, 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 up. But yeah, the guys and gals, perhaps there's gal performers. Performers? The hell am I thinking about? Developers at Assetto Corsa, I have no idea. But they seem to have their heads on straight as far as putting the control into the hands of the player. Which might be a little bit intimidating at first, I suppose. If you're used to playing arcade racers and stuff like that, your Forzas, your Gran Turismos, you look into the options and you see all this stuff about gamma and speed sensitivity and steering speed and filter. You're like, ah! But really, the defaults they have in here work pretty well. Like I said, I use, with the racing wheel, the G27, I use pretty much the straight-up default settings that they provide in the game. And it works out pretty well. Alright, stay back on the track. Last lap, let's see if we can get up into 5th. Top 5. This guy's giving us a run for our money. Ha. Up, 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 up. Understeer, understeer. Haha, gotcha. Ooh, don't celebrate too stern. Stern and soon. Whoop, up, up. Don't cut the corner. There you go, penalty. Ah. Whoop, 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 whoop. Went too fast in that turn. Alright, that's fine. can I catch that guy? Delusions of grandeur. Ooh. Up, 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 up. I totally missed that turn. God, without having somebody in front of me, I still have that problem of not knowing what to do in a turn. Ah! Oh, I'm getting caught. It's catching me. I can see it in my little tiny side view mirror. It's a tiny, tiny side view mirror. There we go. Now I'm pulling away. Oh, okay. Even with the stability control, you can still spin out, so be careful. Ooh. So, in conclusion, not too shabby. Not too shabby of a race with a controller. So I say, do not be dissuaded by the crazed sim racing nut jobs saying you must play with a racing wheel. You can get by, and I'm sure with practice and tweaking of the settings, you can do well with a controller setup. So I would highly recommend such things as these. Obviously, the replay is going to show that I'm quite twitchy behind the wheel, like it looks good. Yeah, it's twitchy, but I got past a bunch of drivers. It was enjoyable. I almost ran into that guy. So yeah, I think this is passable. I am in a moment going to try out. You know, these cars are powerful and fast enough to be race cars, but I'm going to try a short race in one of the supercars. Perhaps the Pagani Zonda, since it kind of took my breath away the first time I raced it. Whoa, Kurt! Whoa, Kurt! Controller! Twitchiness. So I'm going to try that next. That might be a completely different story, so we'll see. And yeah, I'll be right back with that. The controller's great. Oh, that's when I got the penalty. You stink! You stink, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and indeed I have chosen the Pagani Zonda, the craziest car in the game, to try out a race at Monza. The Zonda at Monza. One of the craziest tracks in the game, and it looks like I chose random starting position. It looks like they put us up front, which is a good and a bad thing. Bad thing because now I don't know the appropriate speeds at which to take any of these turns, but a good thing because first place! Suck it, everybody. So let's jump in the cab here. Oh lord. Alright, that's how much the wheel turns. That's fine, that's fine. We're good. Everybody good? Passenger good? Hey! Hey! This is gonna be crazy. So loud! First gear. Okay. Yep, okay, you do have to pop it into first on the starting line. So, note to self. Whoa, guy! Alright, there's a chicane coming up, I know that for a fact. Yep, sorry, I'm so sorry. Oh god, oh, we're getting destroyed. We're getting sandwiched, sandwiched! It's a McLaren sandwich. Alright, okay, okay, alright. Perhaps if you are going... Oh god, I should not be going through the middle of these two guys. Ah, he's on my outside still. Oh no! Oh dear! No! That's bound to happen. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me! Ah, they hit me, they hit me, they hit me. Alright, now I'm in last, I think. Oh, man. Oh, a hurrah! Good times. Good times were had by all. Alright. It's a little bit more twitchy than the BMW was. So yeah, maybe spending a little bit more time in the smaller cars would be the way to get used to driving with the controller versus the wheel. Excuse me. I am in a much faster car, my friend. Get out of the way. Oh, no, Kurt. This went wrong before. Yep, it did. Oh, golly. Drifto! Hey, that actually worked all right. Good thing I have damage off, however. All right, now I'm gonna just annihilate these guys. Whoa! Who added these cars to the field? These are not the same class of characters. Whoa. Yeah, the traction control and the stability control really help. Without those, I believe I would not be facing in the correct direction. A little bit hard to stay straight on the straightaway, but... Alright, I'm slowing down way early for the chicane because I just know it's going to murder me. Murder! We're in 9th out of 20. Not, whoa, this turn. Yeah, this is kind of a gradual turn, which is difficult to do with the controller. Hi. Whoa, okay. No, don't cut the corner. Whoa, okay, yep, there was a, that's one of the points where having a faster steering setup would have helped, because I couldn't recover from that oversteer in time, because it was probably a combination of the speed sensitivity and the slower speed steering that I have set up. Whoops. But that worked out all right. Doing good, everybody. Don't worry about me. Gradual turn, just the most slightest of angles on the controller, and brake. And throttle away. Yeah, whoa. Excuse me, I'm right here, thank you. The grass. Okay, we're fine. Up to 6th. Against all odds. Started in 1st, spun out, was in last, and now I'm twitching all over the place is what's happening. That was bold. Yeah, those tight chicanes are a little bit tough. I think I would, for a track like this, maybe increase the speed of the steering, but then again, that nice gradual turn I just took would be more difficult. It would be more twitchy. Whoa, brake at the bridge. Brake. That wasn't too bad. I like that. That was great. Felt good. Totally missed that apex. And understeer. Whew. I think it's the sound of the engine that really, in this car, that really just like overwhelms your senses, especially with headphones and... Whoa, caught grip all of a sudden there. That was unusual. Oh, can we get up to 3rd? Yeah, we can pass this guy. We're in a Pagani. Oh, no, we're not in a Horaro. We're in a Zonda R. And brake. That was actually probably too soon. Whoa. Takes a lot of finesse. A lot of finesse on the old thumbstick. Wow, this is a fast car. Alright, from first to last to third in the Pagani Zonda with a controller, no doubt. So it can be done. It can be done, and I'm not saying, oh, if you have a controller, go out and buy this game right away. It is a completely different experience than your standard driving game, your arcade driving game. But it certainly is interesting. Certainly is possible. And with, like I said, the multiplayer coming up May 2nd, should hopefully put to rest some worries that the hell, where's the start of this race? Yeah, there it is. Should put to rest some worries of people who maybe already bought the game but only have a controller, or they want to get their friends. Whoa, friends into racing with this game, but they don't have a wheel or anything. I mean, if you find yourself into sim racing simulators, and you play more than just Assetto Corsa, you play other racing games, certainly I would ask for a racing wheel for Christmas or your birthday. Oh! Snap, son! Kablam! That car would have just shredded into a million pieces at that point. But, oh, and more calamity and collisions are happening. Oh, God. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the humanity. Somebody revoke that guy's license. He's terrible. But yeah, Assetto Corsa with a Xbox-style controller. Not bad. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. But with the racing wheel. Next time with the racing wheel, definitely.